Hi, I'm Steven, this is Hector, and this is Tim Clark. Welcome to Longshore Lifelines. This is actually episode number 7. Today we're going to do a topic, just general boating. We get a lot of different questions on that. So today Hector is going to help me out on the first one. Hector, where should I report a boating accident?
Well, Steven, in the event you are involved in an accident, the first thing we have to do is make sure everybody is okay. Then, if you have a cell phone signal, you can call 911, or if you both come with a VHF radio, you can turn to channel 16 and call the U.S. Coast Guard or the police department or the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. That's
Okay.
where you report any boating accident.
All right, excellent. Tim, this one's going to be the next one. So, what do I do if I run aground? A lot of people around here are running aground. It's very shallow at low tide. So, what should I do?
Well, the first thing is, if you run aground, you want to check your crew and the folks on the boat, make sure there's no injuries and everybody's okay. In the event that you haven't run aground and had an injury, and let me back up a moment. If you have had an injury, just like Hector said, you want to report that to either the Department of Natural Resources or the U.S. Coast Guard and let them know what's happened. The other thing is, if you don't have an injury and everybody's okay and the boat's not damaged, you want to back off where you're at. And typically what we tell people is, don't try to blaze a new trail, don't try to find a way through wherever you're trying to get through. Just go ahead and back off. Make sure you're in a safe spot where you're not in a channel or going to drift into a bridge or another object. And then go ahead and tilt your motor up if you've got an outboard and check to make sure you're not impacted with mud and that kind of thing. And once you see that you're clear at your intakes, you want to go ahead and get the boat up on plane, and that'll blow any pluff mud and that kind of thing out. The best advice I could give you for not running aground is refer to your charts, keep an eye on your depth finder, and if you're going to go exploring in an area that you're unfamiliar with, you want to be exploring on a high tide or an incoming tide, I should say. And then the other thing is, if you're unfamiliar, watch what other boaters are doing, and don't watch one or two guys. Let a half dozen boats go by if you're going to try to get out of a channel or go into some unmarked waterway that you're not familiar with. Excellent.
So the next question I'll go ahead and take. The question that I get asked quite a bit is, what if my anchor doesn't hold? A lot of people are doing fishing over top of wrecks and reefs, and a lot of people at the sandbars. So if you deploy the anchor, it doesn't hold, first thing I'm going to recommend is let more out. A lot of people just like to drop it hits the ground, they tie it off. Well, that's not going to be sufficient enough. You actually want to have the rope and chain out 7 feet per 1 foot of depth. And another thing is the chain. A lot of people either don't have a chain on the anchor or they don't have enough. So the rule of thumb, if you have a 30-foot boat, you need 30 feet of chain on the anchor. And what that's going to do is help that anchor lay flat, so it actually pulls and it will engage into the pluff mud, the grass. Another thing is a style of anchor. You got the Danforth anchors and also the plow anchors. So there's a difference there. The plow anchor is going to be better suited for
mud, soft bottom, that
correct.
kind of thing, right?
So double check that, but the first thing to do is just let out some more line and see if it actually bites. If not, pull it up, make sure everything's still good, it's not tangled, drop it out 7 feet per foot, and I think you'll be okay.
Yep.
All right, Tim, another good question here. Should I turn the battery switch off each time I use my boat?
Absolutely. This is for 2 reasons. Number one, if you turn your battery off, if there's a stray voltage or if a pump is left on or a bilge pump, the next day when you come down to the boat, you're not going to have a dead battery. But the second thing is long-term storage. Like if you're in a dry stacker, the weather's getting a little cooler and you're not using the boat as much, and the boat sits up for a month or 2 months, I can guarantee you that battery is either going to be really low or dead. And that's because with all our GPSs and our clocks and our stereos, there's always some voltage being drawn out of that battery if the battery switch is left on. So you definitely want to turn those off. And we definitely recommend, if you're in a storage place where you have access to electrical power, say, for example, if you've got it in a lift at your home or in the water in a marina for sure, you want to have a built-in battery charger installed, and that way you know that whether you leave the battery switch on accidentally or when it's off, you'll never have a problem with your batteries.
Right. All right, Hector, our last question is, what is the capacity of my boat and how do I tell? If I got a lot of people coming down, how do I tell my boat can hold all those people?
Hey, by federal law, you know, all the boats should have the capacity plate on it. If in a case you cannot read it anymore or it's not there, you can multiply the width of the boat by the length and divide it by 15. That's going to tell you how many people can be on the boat. Now, if your boat is just certificate, you can carry as many people you want, but remember, you need to have a life jacket for each person who is on your boat.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I want to thank you for watching. This is episode number 7 of Longshore's Lifelines. This is Hector, Tim, and I'm Steven. If you have any other further questions, check us out online at longshoreboats.com or give us a call at 843-216-4700. Thanks for watching.